Go ahead.
Welcome to Look Around Florida. Sean will be up next.
Welcome to Look Around Florida. I'm your host, Sean McFall, aka the Florida Man. We do have our division commander, Calvin Hart. He's in the background right now. Hey, Jim Odell, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to tonight's episode. Uh, Let me get this out of the way. That way, Calvin don't get a phone call from his bosses, and I got Calvin in the room, so I'm covered. Hey, Keith. Hey, Annette. Hope everybody's doing great tonight. It's wherever you are in Florida. We just had a rainstorm come in here in Southwest Florida. Hey, Linda and Roy, good to see you. Uh, make sure you share this episode with your camps and your brigades and your regions. If you're on YouTube, please click like and subscribe. It helps you out get up to date information what's coming out of the Florida division. Don't matter if it's OCR or SCV. Hey David, hey Victor. Victor, you can ask the boss for a refund here in a little bit. He probably put you on the list again. So I did hear back from uh past Commander in Chief Chuck McMichael. He did want to let everybody know uh, if you want to donate to the SCV National, they have revised their donation page. So feel free to check that out. Internet's goofing up or somebody else is goofing with me. Make sure I have everything off. There's David. There's Beth. There's Jeffro. There's Bobby Van Zandt, the man with the plan. Alrighty. We're keep an eye on the Facebook page. Anytime I get updates on or a flyer on a camp project or a camp event, I do post it there. We got Kim in the house, so let's let Calvin come in and let us know what's going on with the division. G'day, sir. How you doing today?
All right, how you doing today, Sean?
Not bad, sir. We got quite a bit of your fellow camp members in the chat already.
That's great. It's great. Hope they're doing well this evening.
Everybody's saying they're hanging in there. So I know I can only speak for myself and my camp. We're waiting for this fall. We're lining up projects.
That's right. Keeps camp active if you're working on projects.
Yep. So what's new going for you, sir?
Well, Sean, I know reunion was sometime in July. I guess you expanded on the reunion in one of
Yep.
your shows. Uh, I'd just like to thank all the Florida camp members who were there at the national reunion and representing Florida. We had pretty good turnout. We took home a lot of awards. Florida did. Uh, we took home, uh, Kirby Smith took home Distinguished Camp, Most Distinguished Camp, and the Nathan Bedford Forrest Recruiting Award. So Florida did pretty good at that reunion. As a state, uh, we donated $5,000 to the uh, museum at that reunion as a division. So the reunion went great. It was good. Where we are today, we're still handling Rick is still handling getting in the dues, trying to get the last camps to send in the dues. If you're a camp that hadn't sent your dues in yet, uh, like I said, it should have been done a long time ago. I think every commander has to deal with this, and adjutant getting the last camps to get the dues in. I don't quite understand that, why that's so difficult. If you got people that don't change, maybe you need to change the people, get people in the right position, doing the right things. And one of the right things to do is get your camp reports in and get your dues in for your camp on time. I think we have a few camps, been talking to Rick, um, that haven't gotten them in, and it's on our list to address that issue. Sean, I guess you sent your camp dues in, right?
I'm on top of all my camp stuff.
Good deal. I wish
I sent them
everybody
in early.
was. I wish everybody. I wish everybody was. You know, once we get through this camp dues, towards probably the end of this month, we'll roll out the grant program again. It seemed to be well received. I encourage your camp to put in for grants for recruitment material. In the past, some of the grants were given for uh, banners for recruitment at gun shows and fairs, wherever you're going to recruit members. But this grant program is set up especially to revive the recruitment of new members in the SCV. I know that's a job in itself. Camp I'm in now, we've always kind of been geared for new recruits. We get them in all the time. We do. I think we do pretty well at it. We just got one in tonight. Process. I'll get that to uh, Rick tomorrow morning, and he'll have that, a new member for the camp. I talked to other divisions when I go to national reunions, see what works for them. Uh, as far as new members and how people have inquiries, we get them through the Florida Division website. We get them from national. Some of them require genealogy work. Rick's really good at that. I talked to, like I said, other divisions, and I don't think there was a division out there that actually processes new members as quick as we do, as far as getting their Confederate ancestors, getting them in the application, get their money in, get them enrolled, and then make sure they're in the camp that they would like to be in the state of Florida. It's near to them. So as a
Hey,
state,
Gary.
we're doing pretty well uh, as far as the division handling recruitment. I think we are. Some of the programs that we're involved in now, which I can talk about, the Florida Confederate Soldiers Monument that was taken down in Jacksonville. 1209 is in possession of that, owns that. We're beginning phase 4 of putting that monument back up. Phase 4 will be putting the soldier, he's 10 feet tall, weighs probably 1,500 pounds, uh, putting him on the stone that he will stand on, and then we'll lift that stone and place that on the top of the monument. And then the structure of the Confederate monument will be complete as far as where it stands and how it's going to look. Then we'll go back down to the bottom and put the plaques on. There are 4 plaques at the bottom of that monument. One of them is Kirby Smith. One of them is J.J. Dickinson. One is a kind of a Scott Jackson and Lee and the troops behind them. It's bronze plaques. This one says our hero. Each one of them has some writing. And then the 4th plaque actually has the dedication of the monument that was written by Charles Hemming, who actually paid for this monument in 1890. He paid for it, I think, in 1896. It was started, finished, and the monument itself was put up in Jacksonville 1898. When it was put up in Jacksonville, the troops for the Spanish-American War were here. Fitzhugh Lee was in charge of those troops. He was here. He actually was on the porch of one of the houses or the hotels that were around that square. And the troops, both north and south, they had several division of troops. North and south states were represented in a parade that went around the monument. It was a big event, a one-day event in Jacksonville.
Cool.
The monument itself is historic in many ways. One of the ways that monument is historic. In 1903, Jacksonville had a fire that burned predominantly all of downtown Jacksonville. The only thing that stopped the fire from going further, it had to jump across a stream, and that was kind of like the fire break. But between that creek and the St. Johns River, the city of Jacksonville was leveled. The only thing standing left was that monument. In fact, there were people who were caught up in that fire who put their luggage and their belongings around that monument because there's the only park, the park was open and there wasn't any buildings on fire and such. But they put their possessions around the base of that monument, and during the fire, ashes and flames jumped and actually struck the luggage and material around the base and burned all that material. In fact, there was a witness said that the base of the monument was actually glowing red. It was so hot. Uh, Later on, during World War One, in Jacksonville, they used this monument as a recruiting effort. They would have recruitment drives and bond drives at the base of that monument. World War One, World War Two also had recruitment drives at that base of that monument. So it has a pretty historic uh, point of view for Jacksonville, that monument. I'm glad it's here and I'm glad we saved it. And it's a one-off beautiful monument. The sculpture is unbelievable. I had never seen it before because, originally there's a shaft that pushed it another 17 feet up in the air. So it was probably 62 feet up in the air. And you really couldn't see the detail of the monument of the soldier at that time because it was just too far up. I even got binoculars and tried to get it. But when you stand beside it and look at it, it's just an outstanding sculpture. I mean, you can see the veins of his hands. We've cleaned it, sealed it. It's ready to go. Everything's ready to go. We're just getting the last bit of details before we lift it up and put it at the top of the monument. That's phase 4. Phase 5 is electrical. We'll pull wires out of the power cabinet, set up lighting, probably another security camera, so that we light the monument is lit up at night. And then phase 6, we're actually moving the fence because we had to get more property to place the monument. So now that our fence is behind it, that fence will come down. It'll be moved to the front of it. And we have some brick columns that are going to be built, 2 of them, to tie all the fence work in.
Cool. Good evening, past commander Jason Bushiers is in the chat.
Hey, Jason, how you doing, buddy?
Jerry, I can ask Calvin. He probably, I don't know what he would say. Jerry's asking when it's all said and done, will there be a ceremony?
Yes, there'll be a big dedication of this. We're gonna make a big deal out of this. I know that we've received support from all around Florida and camps and different organizations, and they'll all be invited to the dedication. It's going to be a party, is what it's going to be, a
Now, who?
celebration and a party.
Well, what past commander in chief Paul Gremlin would say a hootenanny.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. I know
Yeah.
you've been working on that for a while.
Yeah. This one was in fact, I think it's the only monument the SCV actually owned to do what they wanted to with it and got it back, if I'm not mistaken. We we got it, it belongs to us, and we're putting it on private property owned by the SCV, a camp. So we're in charge of our destiny.
Cool.
If there are any questions about it, I'm more than happy to answer any questions about the Florida Soldiers Monument.
Wait, I just had one. There we go. Wait, no, it jumped around on me.
Did it? I don't
Yeah,
see any
there we go.
questions on.
Are you able to see that?
Possibly some could come and camp out at the night before the ceremony. Yeah, who actually asked that question? Oh,
Jerry
Jerry.
G. Tuck.
Yeah, Jerry. We were going to do that. I had planned. We got a big field in front of the monument, and as part of the celebration, we were going to invite reenactors, and yeah, we bring it on. Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
I think that's part of the plan. It's a very secure location. It is right beside 295. I mean, it's very visible. We have a 7-foot statue of Robert E. Lee in Kirby Smith Confederate Park right now that can easily be seen. You can tell who it is riding down the road. The reality of the situation is, the city took down a monument downtown, which, you know, which for was taken down, and really people passed it every day, didn't really pay attention to it. Few probably even knew where it was until, you know, the woke society decided to turn on it. But it went from a place that pretty much the only people seeing it was people eating lunch downtown to now thousands upon thousands will drive past it. Now,
We do got a question for you. Well, a couple of questions. So, this is from Commander Boshears.
I thought you banned that guy off this. Okay, go ahead.
He signs both of our checks. So,
Okay. What's his question?
what cleaner and sealer was used?
On the statue, we use several things that are recommended. I can get you the list. Uh, there's a wax sealant that was used on the monument that just sealed it. We cleaned off 100 years of bird crap and pollution. It was green, almost like a mold. Um, we had an individual. We kind of coarse cleaned it. Two guys came and coarse cleaned it, kind of buffed on it a little bit, not enough to turn it shiny, just enough to get the grime off of it. But at the very end, John Ruff, one of our members, is pretty, he's pretty dedicated to the job. He got in there and hand worked out, hand rubbed all the grime off of it and got it down to the patina that's really a dark bronze, and then there's a sealant, bronze sealant, like a wax that goes on it that seals it.
Cool. Ready. This one's coming from Ronnie Nichols. Wants to know what the ice bags were used for.
The ice bags went all right. There was 200,000 pounds of granite that we had to crane and move over. Some, if you look on the division website, you've probably seen the crane, slinging. We're moving the blocks. When we put a block, very heavy block, and we're setting another one on top of it. The purpose of the ice bag is you put the ice bags under different corners, and then you're able to take the slings off the piece, and as the ice bags melt, it drops the piece in position. You have to be diligent in that as the ice is melting and the piece of granite is settling on the piece below it, you're prying, pushing, so that as it settles, so that when it settles upon the piece underneath it, that it's in the spot that it needs to go, because you got one shot at that.
All righty. Another question from Boshears.
You can go, we put if you go to the Florida Division website, there's actually a way that you can donate with a credit card, and it'll go straight to the monument. There's also a place on the division website where it tells a little bit about the monument, and then you can fill out a paperwork and mail it in. So there's two different ways. You can do it through the website with a credit card, or you may use a mail-in donation form, which can be found on the division website. Or you can get in touch with me, and we can get that done. There were a number of individuals. We actually gave away a hat. There was a hat which is similar to the one I think I'm wearing, one of the hats. That if you were donated $100, you got one of the Confederate crew, Monument Crew caps, which is a really nice cap. I think I'm down to like 2 left on that. So that's just something we sent out as a token of appreciation for the donation.
Yeah, I tried donating. I don't know what happened. Between my bank and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, might try it again, Sean. I mean,
Yeah,
it does work because I know I've got something listed as somebody, a donation came in today, so I know it does work. We're doing okay. I mean, we're going to finish this no matter what. Uh, some of the big things we have, like I said, in the future, we still got a crane lift. And after that, phase 5 and 6, which involves the, pulling the wire from the power panel so we get power over there to it. We're running like probably 110, 120 feet of underground cable. And then we'll put a LED light that lights up at night, like the flag. The flag's right there.
all
At that site, it's got 24-hour camera surveillance. So we got different angles there that we can take a look at, and we've actually turned the cameras there that we have to the monument. So we're kind of looking at it now. We're lucky in that we hadn't had any vandalism or anything, knock on wood, and I hope we never do. If anybody's listening, I don't encourage you to try. There's all kinds of things there. There's we're actually shooting. There's things there. There's more security there than just the cameras. I'll put it that way.
right. This question came in from Cameron.
Okay. Originally, the guys that put this monument together in 1898, they were really on their game. I mean, there was block on block. The only thing they used were like a thin lead ribbon looking. It kind of looked like a lead sinker that somebody had hammered flat, and they used that as shims and stuff to shim maybe a little bit of the monument one way or the other. We actually, because it's today's time, we actually used uh, a block adhesive that that we put in between the blocks just to make it settle in. We even did it to the larger ones, but there wasn't really a purpose for that because they weren't going to move anyhow because they're extremely large. When we get up to the top where the soldier is, we used two-part epoxy. There's actually two all thread rods. We got 3/4 inch stainless steel that are epoxied into a base. The soldier will go on that base. The all thread will go up through his base, and then we'll have stainless steel washer, lock washer, and double nuts. Tighten it down, holding, anchoring the soldier to the base, and then we'll cut that rebar just above the last bolt. So that's how that works. But we'll use at the top, we'll use a two-part epoxy that's made for sinking anchors and such, and it adheres to the granite really well.
Hopefully that answers your question, Cameron.
Might have been a little bit more deeper than you cared, but that's the truth of how we do it.
Yeah, I put enough anchors in concrete before, so I know what you're talking about, Calvin.
If I text you a picture, are you able to put it on the site?
If you send it to me through Facebook, yes.
Through Facebook. I can't just text it to you on the phone?
No, because well, I might be able to.
Well, if you go to Facebook, maybe you can pull a picture off of Facebook, Sean. If you go to the division website, the
Yeah.
last thing I put was a picture of the columbarium. I'd like to talk about that.
The on our member only Facebook page, or
it's the Florida Division SCV members.
Okay.
If you go in there, I think there seems to be Jimmy Hill. I
was wondering about the Central.
Yeah, he put that up. That got posted, which is the Army of Tennessee, which we're part of the Army of Tennessee. That's their, and I wish some guys would contribute to that newsletter. If you were to send them an article, if you're writing articles for your camp newsletter, send it to the Sentinel. Send it to Jimmy Hill. He'll see that it gets put in there.
No, that's perfect because I have one of a descendant.
Send it to Carl Jones. That would be the guy. Send it to Carl. Did you go to the division website?
Yeah, I'm on here now. There's you pictures of the site about 3 days ago.
Yeah, the columbarium. See, I don't know. Can you get that?
That is that what you're talking about?
No. That's when we're actually putting the 3/4 inch all thread in to anchor the soldier. We're prepping that block. That's the final block that goes up on top. That my dog. No, if you go back to the site, it's right under. If you go right at the top, you got Linda's got the "Leave Us Alone" logo, and then you drop down Jimmy Hill, and then right after that you got me. It's just Calvin Hart. The columbarium is looking exactly like the drawings.
Let me. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, put that up.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. I didn't know what that was called.
Okay, I'll put that up. I'll talk about that. Okay, what you're looking there is we're doing two projects. You know, the divisions. Of course, that's the division project, the Florida Confederate Soldiers Monument. This is a Kirby Smith project. This is in Camp Mooney Confederate Cemetery that Kirby Smith 1209 owns. That it's a place that was an outpost both for the Union and the Confederates. You know, they swap back and forth there. It's high ground for back around there. And during the skirmish at Cedar Creek, the Confederate soldiers that were killed were buried at Camp Mooney, Confederate Cemetery. So, and they're actually somewhat across from this, yeah, sort of. They're across from this on the other side. Now, what we have here, what you're looking at is the columbarium. Now, columbarium is you've seen them at national cemeteries. They're a place to store the ashes of a cremated individual. So what we're doing there, we're building a columbarium on a Confederate in a Confederate cemetery, so to speak, for SCV members or family. So what you have there is you have the curbing, which thanks to Ronnie. Ronnie did the curbing for us. He did a good job. Ronnie Nichols did that. Chris did the concrete for the base, and Billy Fiegel built the columbarium. Now that's the bones. That's the metal of it right there. I drew the drawing and I had the concept. Now what's going to happen there is each one of those niches is what is is the name they use for those. I'll have a door. It'll have a plate over with a name on it. Uh, it's going to be bricked all the way around. Uh, at the top, there'll be marble, granite, uh, roof material. It'll be granite, and there'll be it's just have engraved marble at the top and bricked around. So basically, you're looking at the bones of a SCV columbarium is what you're looking there. The fountain is an antique fountain. It actually uh, it's got solar powered so that when the sun comes up and there's water in there, then the water will run out of that little ball at the top and run back down and recirculate back and forth. The place right there, the earth in front of it that's kind of brown, we just put Roundup. We're killing all that. There'll be ground cover put there, and then there'll be a jasmine low ground cover green that that you can control, and it'll be in there. So that's one of the 1209 projects right there that just it's just coming off the ground. I mean, we've been working on it for a while, but that's actually when all the parts are assembled. Um, like I said, we got some more detail, and then the bricks and all. It's going to be really a nice looking piece in that cemetery.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's one of our projects.
Well, you gotta
Among
have
others.
projects and keep the camp busy.
Yeah, we're lucky that we're extremely blessed in some of the individuals we have that have skills that can do things.
Yeah.
Uh, but between that monument and this columbarium, we're we're pretty busy lately. Pretty busy. In fact, somebody's working on something all the time. Tomorrow, John Ruff will be out there putting the primer on that metal to keep it from rust. He'll prime it and then he'll coat it with a paint so that you won't even see it, but it'll be sealed and caulked and straight. And like I said, then the brickwork goes on there. Um, it's going to look really good. There's some engraving that goes across the top, the roof. There's a free bird that's going to be the same logo I use probably for the same flying bird I use for the 2020 logo. Be a free bird up there. And I think I think I wrote that it's going to be engraved across the top there in the marble. And say, if I leave here tomorrow, will you remember me? Be at the top, and then a free bird above that. So
Cool.
yeah, yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, until you see it, I just draw stuff on paper, and figure out dimensions and stuff. But until you actually see it, I get a real appreciation for something coming off the drawing board that's something standing. And like I said, the credit goes to several individuals in there, and of course Billy Fiegel, who's really good. He laid that out and built that in pieces, and And if you put a level on that thing anywhere, it's level and square, all of it. So,
Cool.
all right. Any other questions? We're doing all right.
I'm looking, and it's mainly because our division adjutant joined the chat, so everybody's asking him questions.
Good. I hope those camps didn't send their dues in yet, or asking them what address do we use. Yeah. Uh, like I said, once we get past this, the dedication for the monument will be a Florida, because it's a Florida Division project. The Florida Soldiers Monument will be it is a division project, and we'll put in for Heritage Project of the Year next year for that. So, and we should win.
Mm-hmm.
I would think we would win, and I think we'd be the cover of the Confederate Veteran Magazine at least.
Again.
Yeah, again. Yeah, yeah, again. We got them again, Josie. That's right.
I'm gonna let Calvin answer that one, Jeffro. So, are
How
you planning?
much to get my ashes in there? Well, we haven't worked that out yet. What we're doing is I got a budget we're working on, and if it comes under budget, right at budget, then that'll determine the cost of the of placement there. Um, I mean, it's not going to be crazy money. I don't know if anybody's looked at burials or had to deal with that.
Oh, I just did.
Yeah, well, then
Yeah.
how much money can be involved in something like that. We plan to actually, do more than that. It'll be a place that, that it'll be in a really good cemetery that's well kept, and we'll actually probably do some kind of service. I could see us firing cannons for interments or ceremonies there. The niches are big enough to allow at the minimum. I mean, minimum you can fit two of the ash, holders. The ones that they normally get, if you get them, they're in a plastic. I don't know if you've seen this before, but the ash comes from the crematorium. Usually comes in a plastic looking box, unless you pay for the wooden box or whatever. But they usually transform them in a plastic box. It's a bag in there with a tag on it, and that was designed so that it would, at the minimum, hold two of those in the slot.
Well, we just got an update from Rick Roberts.
How's Rick doing? I
No,
thought he was in class tonight. Rick was in class, I believe, taking a class.
oh, okay. He said we're down to. I think he meant 4 camps now.
4 camps. Well, we'll have to address that issue. Uh, it's every camp commander has to go through that, and it's just I don't know why, but and it's no different than any other division. The dues are just, and it's the economy and the world we live in. I get it, you know. Uh, I know you got volunteers that do the adjutant job, which is a tough job for anybody, and of course, they're non-paid positions and stuff. But like I said, if you take a position, there are no honorary positions. Not in the camp I'm in, anyhow. There are no honorary positions. I give credit to the guy that sets the chairs up for the meeting. But if a camp commander or adjutant is not doing their job, well, it reflects on the whole camp. So like I said, if you can't change the people, change the people. I used to have patience for it. I don't have the patience I used to have for it because too many people are doing the right thing. You know.
Bobby, I don't know about that answer. You may want to private message Rick on anything in the Ninth Brigade.
Rick getting bombarded. With
Well,
questions.
I'm paying attention to questions for you, and most of the questions are coming up for Rick.
That's good. Rick
Yeah,
needs to come on for one night then, or we could do the duo thing. We did the duo thing that one time.
well, we can do the dual thing whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
This month, I'm booked.
That's good.
Next Tuesday, I'm doing a presentation at the Arcadia camp. Uh, so the Tuesday after that, we got Thomas Jesse coming on, and we're going to learn a lot more about Robert E. Lee in the state of Florida. Then after that, we have our division chaplain coming on. I know he wanted to come on and talk about what he learned at the it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't get the word out. The chaplain meeting up at HQ.
Cool. We're Rick just texted me. I got which if you're doing the right thing, like all camps should be doing, and you're doing cemetery preservation, which all camps should be doing, then you know it, people will come to you.
Mhm.
We're lucky that the I think the St. Nicholas Baptist Church,
Yeah.
uh, which I think I messed the name up. It's longer than that, but they had a cemetery. She called me out there, got my name from the city, I believe, and we went out there and looked at a cemetery that they're trying to save, and they're doing a good job. They're dedicated to it just like we are. And honestly, I can tell you the story. We went down this road with another church, and we didn't get very far because they had objection to, the Confederate Sons of Confederate Veterans. In the beginning, but this church has just opened us welcome arms, and we went out there and looked, and I walked it with her, and they're trying to save their church's cemetery that's been there since the 1870s, I believe. Rick might know better, but there were, I think, 11 veterans in there, and I think there were only two headstones in the whole place. Now, you can look. I've been in enough cemeteries. You can look at the cemetery and go, well, there's people buried all in here, but
Mhm.
none of them were marked. And how they were able, I told her, I said, I don't know who saved this thing when they were building these apartments and stuff. I mean, it's literally right beside uh, a rundown apartment complex, and their asphalt stops right where the cemetery's at. So at one time, I know there was, I can look at it and see how their plans were on the drawing boards. They just planned to continue on asphalting over this cemetery. And somebody stepped in at some time during its history and saved it. Now, then it got kind of lost, I believe, in history. But this church is coming along, and this lady's really nice, and they're trying to save this, and got with us, and we walked down, and we're helping them get, of course, it's a black cemetery. We're helping them get the headstones for the veterans that are there. I think Rick came up with 7 headstones there, maybe. I think that's the number that finally came up, that he found the records and stuff. So, and once we get the headstones, we'll help them set up. What I'm saying, and what the point of this story is, if you do good things and continue, no matter what the wind's pushing against you, there are people that will accept you for who you are and what you are, and how you conduct yourself and how you act, and because they don't know what to deal with, and like I said, when I meet them, I don't know what to deal with, but doesn't take very long to find out that, we got a lot of stuff in common and we can work together. And that's a good thing. This is going to be a good PR thing for 1209 when it's finished.
There you go.
So,
There's Rick's count.
what is it, 6?
Yep, 6 and one World War I veteran.
Yeah. Yeah. It appears after the war, perhaps some of the soldiers settled in here. I think the story was, I think the way Rick explained it to me, they were from South Carolina. So this would have been an environment or weather-wise that they were used to, and they got down here in Jacksonville and kind of just liked it and stayed. I believe that's what happened. I think the church is one of the oldest churches in Jacksonville in the same location. So, and so far they've been really nice. Like I said, we went down this road with the same thing and it didn't work out. But here again, you can't hit a home run unless you take a swing and give everybody the opportunity to see who we are and who they are, and it works out. We got good people and they had good people, and we should get along.
Yeah.
So,
I know if some of you were wondering, it's the Chaplain Conference. It's September the 14th there in Elm Springs.
and Kim is, like I said, Kim is our division chaplain, and he will represent Florida well.
Cool. Well, you're busy. All right. Any more questions for Calvin? If he was shy, he wouldn't be on this show.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of good news, Calvin. Seems like
Well,
you're very busy.
yeah, I'm sure everybody's got, and I encourage every commander in the division. Every camp commander has a story to tell, Sean.
Yep.
And I encourage them to reach out to you and have them come on the show and tell them what's working for them, or tell them
Yeah.
what's not working, and talk it out. I mean, if you have a problem, that you're trying to find a handle for, there's probably somebody on here that's already had that problem, and a whole bunch of people is willing to work with you on that problem. So, um,
Now, Jerry Peacock asks us, any idea of the event date time frame for the ceremony?
no, like I said, I got it. I can see the end of it in my head. I put all the pieces together in my head. But as far as the date, we were talking about, we got to schedule a crane to come in. There's a lot of moving pieces to the last part. Once we get the soldier on top, of course, that being said, if any division member wanted to come and look at Kirby Smith Confederate Park and the monument and see what we're doing, we have work days there, at least once a month. But even if that time wasn't convenient for you, I think if anybody wanted to come up and see the park and see the monument, we would certainly make ourselves available to get them in there to take a look at it. Once we get the monument finished, we want to have the fence up and the lights before we do the dedication. And honestly, I'd rather have some cooler weather if we're going to camp out there. I mean, in the park itself, for those that hadn't been there, we have a bonfire, we have a fire pit there, we have a gazebo there, we got a barbecue grill there. So I mean, we're gonna have food and the whole thing there. So camping out there would be pretty good. The only thing I can say that I didn't figure out when we first finished the park, I did not figure there when I was sleeping at night. Again, we can throw a rock and hit I-295, is those big trucks going down the road braking. I mean, all night. It's like, it's you hear the trucks all night. If you're a light sleeper, you might want to be camping on the far side, not on the highway side.
Uh, we do get a question from our councilman, Roy Hudson. Do you have a Lee Jackson event flyer yet for 1209?
No, we did discuss it. The commander in chief is coming to our Lee Jackson. I know where we're having it. We're having it at Maggiano's. For those that have attended that, the food is like excellent. It just keeps coming. No one's ever, I mean, it's like family style. It's just a mountain of food. Roy can tell you that. Nobody ever leaves there hungry. Uh, like I said, the commander in chief, the current commander in chief will be the head speaker, will be the speaker at that event. The date, I think we have already cast the date. I'd have to talk to Hal, but we will come up with a flyer and start putting it out.
Perfect. Alrighty, this came in from Ronnie Nichols.
What does it say? The Columbarium SCV first. Never seen one before at any. Yeah, I've never seen one. I'm sure. I'm sure once the idea catches on, you'll probably see another one. Uh, but no, I've never seen one. I've never seen that angle. I mean, I don't know how many SCV camps own a cemetery, which is, we wouldn't be able to pull this off if we didn't own the cemetery. So, you got to have a lot of stuff come in favor before you can get to the building the columbarium. But to answer your question, no, I've never heard of it before. I've never heard of an SCV columbarium for members either. So it's first for me.
Yeah.
There may be others, but I've never heard. I didn't hear that idea. That wasn't, and I have no idea. I have no problem about grabbing a good idea and shaping it to something that works better for camp. But I mean, it's like, okay, you had a good idea, good. Tell me about it. If it works for me, if I have a good idea, I certainly will share it for you to twist it around so that it works for you. So, but I can honestly say that idea, um, I didn't see it somewhere else. That's probably an original for me.
Right. Hopefully that gets your next question out. Thank you, Mr. Peacock. I do appreciate that compliment. Already, Alice Springs has discussed, but 1209 is leading the way.
Yeah. Well, I just get tired talking about stuff. You ask them guys, I can't. If I spend more time talking about it than getting it done, then we got a problem. So, you
Yep.
know,
Well, Keith put this out there. So if anybody's in Jacksonville, please stop by on September the 21st
yeah,
and put you to work.
yeah. I mean, that's not necessarily true. Just come to visit. That'd be great. There'll probably be some. There's going to be some. With any luck, there'll be some movement on the statue by then. That might be a good day if you want to see something happen that
Mm-hmm.
day.
That's cool.
Because I'm wanting to finish this and move on.
Yeah, I want to see it finish. I've been following the pictures you've been posting on it, so I definitely
Yeah, it's been
want
a
to
long
come
time
up.
coming. I
Yeah.
mean, if you talk about the 2 years that we fought in front of City Hall for the monument before and had them in a stalemate until the mayor, who couldn't run for dog catcher. I don't know where he's at. I think he's a lobbyist in Tallahassee. Seems where those guys go. But there were 2 years we fought every uh, time they had city council meetings. I'd be there, and different people would be there, and like I said, after 2 years, the enthusiasm for going to the city hall was kind of waning for everybody, but we were still there up to the very end. So, but they thought they beat us. They didn't beat us.
Nope.
No. Mm.
Yeah, that's right, Keith. Get there early. Got work to do. Got to get her done.
That's right. Yeah, it's a pretty good place. I mean, it's easy to find. If anybody wants to come up on that day and check it out, I encourage you. Be a good day.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
I know me, Jeffro, some of us that live in Central and South Florida did drive by the flag site coming home from National.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Good. How'd it look?
beautiful as the day you opened the park up.
That's good. Lot of work. Those guys, maintain the grass. That's, people ask about flag sites all the time, and I tell them, there's more to a flag site, and I'm preaching to the choir to some of the individuals out there, but there's more to a flag site than just putting a stick in the ground with a flag on it. When you put that flagpole in the ground, you've made a lifetime commitment for your camp. Long after you're gone, needs to be somebody maintaining what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they don't, if the flag site looks like it's abandoned, and the grass is overgrown, weeds, and the place looks like hell. Well, that's just worse than, not having something there. If your flag's ripped, torn, that it's all. If you want to make a statement, you have to put your best foot forward every day at the flag site. It's got to look good. If they're gonna hate us, they're not gonna hate us because we're sloppy and and not looking like we respect what we're representing.
Yep.
It's a commitment, and for any of those out there that are sentinel camps that take care of flag sites, I salute you because I fully appreciate and know the work that goes into maintaining those sites, and it's constant. It's constant. I mean,
Yep.
we used to just have, I think, maybe a push mower. Now we got an army of mowers. We got a mower we got a mower at Camp Mooney. We got a mower at the flag site, riding lawnmower. We got a yard business going is what I think we got it, you know.
Are you guys for hire?
Well, you would think we could go into business with all of, the lawn maintenance equipment we have, but it all goes to maintaining the flag sites, you know.
Yep.
And there are guys out there to do it, man, all the time. One guy a mow, another guy, and it means something to him. It isn't. It's a passion
Yep.
that they, and I gotta respect it. And people who see it respect it. I mean, I don't know how many times I heard, people that have seen the flag site comment on how well it looks, because it's well kept. And that's a statement. You're making a statement. It means something to you. So,
Yep. I say that every time when Jeffro or David calls me to drive up to do pesticides at the Tampa flag site. It's
yeah.
always a pleasure doing it.
Yeah, that's right. It
Got to
means something
carry
to
on Marion Lambert's memory.
It's a commitment, a lifetime commitment.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Alrighty, guys, we're gonna wrap up the show tonight. Does anybody have any questions for Commander Hart?
well, I appreciate you tolerating me for an hour. Now I can eat. I can go eat.
Well, like I said earlier, I thought you were going to go live at your executive meeting.
Well, maybe we'll do that next time. We'll move the time up just a little bit, you
Yeah.
know. So,
Hey, Kim. Hey, I need you to message me about getting you on so we could for Sim's birthday, Admiral Sim's birthday party. Thank you, Commander Boshiers, on that compliment.
Was that it,
Alrighty.
Sean? We handled everything. I hope everybody got what they tuned in for.
Yep. Everybody, from what I hear, from everything I'm seeing, it's compliments.
Okay.
Thanking you for coming on the show tonight
No
and
problem.
giving everybody an update.
It's an honor to represent the Florida Division.
Yes, sir.
It's a privilege I don't take lightly.
Ready. With that being said, Calvin, I just want to say thank you
No problem,
and
Sean.
end off on a video on one of our division members.
My name is Nelson W. Winbush. I'm a member of the Jacob Sumner Camp 1516 Sons of Confederate Veterans. My reason for joining the Sons of Confederate Veterans after the NAACP declared they would destroy and remove everything Confederate in 1990, I decided that I would do all I could to make sure that people understood what the Confederacy stood for.
Thank you all for taking time out today to join in the show. May God bless you in your ventures and your projects that you got going on this week. So next Tuesday we won't be having an episode. I'm going to be doing a presentation for the Arcadia camp. Until we meet again, have a good night.